Good morning, everyone, and Merry Christmas to everyone around the world. I've got a couple of spare hours, so I thought I would jump on and have a bit of fun on 7 days. How better to spend your Christmas day before you have to get into the larger festivities of the day? Kind of got to remember what I was even doing last time. Okay, range, that can go in there. I can go in there. We'll pop those in there. I think I've got to give them to Sean. Okay, resources, beeswax, food, go in there. I do probably need some survivor short is complete. 7 days. Alright, we're cooking now. We are cooking with gas. I heard a zombie, but I don't know where it is. No, there's no way. There had to have been a zombie there. There's just no way there wasn't a zombie there. You guys all heard it. Buried supplies. Okay. So we'll head up there. Yeah, we'll head up there and see what's in store for us over there. Suppose that's the thing, like wood is never something that you can have enough of in this. You always need it. Same thing with iron, you're always gonna find a use for it. Merry Christmas, Evil, Merry Christmas. Sean hasn't jumped on quite just yet, but I'll let him know when he's on. He'll probably read the chat anyway. How's your Christmas Eve going? Strange, no zombies have spawned yet. Quiet, but it's been nice. Yeah, it's pretty quiet here at the moment as well, honestly. Okay, now they're spawning in. Bye, Natalie. Oh, hello. Anyone else want some? How's your morning so far? Do you have plans today? Nah, I'm intentionally gonna have a quiet Christmas. And I like, when Sean was here just before, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna actually jump on stream for a little bit. Oh, pumpkin pie and honey tea. Huge. That is huge. But it's been good though. Man, I got so much cash, it's crazy. So now I'm like thinking, do I put it towards like a tattoo, or I don't know, I could go a bunch of different directions with it. Nah, never a bad thing. Yeah, there's a lot of things I want to do, like Sumac are playing here in February, so I might actually take that money and get a hotel room, a train ticket, and a ticket for the show. Just for something different. Because I'm going to do things a little differently next year. It's nice to be able to spend that on an experience rather than something material. Oh, for sure. But like the way I see it, like my first instinct for like Christmas money and birthday money is tattoos. And I don't really consider that material because it's with you forever. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. But yeah, as opposed to like, say, I don't know, some like shirt or something like that. You know what I mean?
Well, look here, boys.
Ooh,
we got
what do we have
ourselves
here?
a real-life hero. And now he wants to be paid.
This is all shit. None of these rewards are actually good. I'm just gonna go that. Alright, we've got another one here. Ooh, yes.
Oh, look who's... Word of advice. Next time, bathe before coming
Yeah,
to
I
a
don't need
job
tattoos
interview.
on material. No wonder he is mean to you. He's the worst.
Flash some cash or get lost.
Let's see what he's got in here for sale. He's got a ratchet. Engine, ammo, burning shaft mod, 4x scope. Pretty handy. Fire axe. Pump shotgun. Ooh, pump shoddy. Fuck it, I'm getting the pump.
You cheap-ass son of a bitch. That's all you're gonna buy?
Bro, I just spent 7 grand, you fool. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of the pistol. No, I'm not talking shit about his wares. I'm talking shit about his rewards. These rewards were trash, man. I'm pretty sure the pump is like my favorite gun in the game as well. Cheers for lurking, Moon. Okay, so where are our beds? They're right here. So I'm gonna make a storage chest. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Then we've got quite a bit of shoddy as well, shoddy ammo here. So ranged, what mods do we have? Foregrip mod, shotgun choke mod, tightens the shotgun spread. Let's do that, and then let's go for the foregrip mod. And let's see if we've got any paint. The base is looking good. Thank you. We're putting work in it. It's like, it's actually quite a bit different to the kind of base that I would normally make. So I've like been putting a conscious effort to make it a little different. Merry Christmas to you too, Moon. It's gonna take a while to upgrade all those blocks, so I'm not too phased about it right now. But yeah, I've added a ladder and a hatch as well. And we want to go here. How good would it be to just live somewhere like that permanently? Kind of the dream, hey? Let's go over here. See what we've got. Okay, we're gonna have to clear out this building over here, this residence. Alright, let's rock and roll. Whoa! How did you live that? Top that, mate. Probably not even gonna worry about like looting like some of the crappier buildings that are around here. It's just no point. I will take that food pile though. What do we got here? Yeah, I'll take those. Okay, it's not too bad. It's been pretty good in here. I probably shouldn't waste all my ammo. Jars. I will never say no to jars. Lockpicks. I wonder if we should just... You know, I never put points in lockpicking. I wonder if maybe I should try lockpicking. You are starting to make a name. You can pick locks 20% faster and have a 10% lower chance to break lockpicks. Dude, maybe we do that this time, eh? Dude, all of that stuff is useful. I'll get rid of the bones though. You find a lot that is locked? Ah, absolutely. There is so much stuff that's locked in here. Cop cars, for instance. Cop cars are probably the main offender. Alright, you come over here, fool. Ammo pile. High power 9mm. Medical. Nice. We'll do the big container last. Medical journal. Come on, please give me something good, please. Pistol, cigar. Right, now we've got 2 points again. Let's put it in lockpicking. Whoa, whoa, okay. Nice. Every time you get steroids, it's just like, fuck it. It's so tempting to just use it straight away. It makes the game so much easier. Like, once you start finding steroids regularly in this, you're like popping them constantly. Hell yeah, brother. HH, brother. Hulk Hogan. Come on, I've got to get it. I've got to make it in time. I've got to make it in time. Oh, hurry up, man. It's gonna close soon.
Trader Rect is closing shortly, so finish your damn business or come back tomorrow, if you're still alive.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to pay you now that you did it.
Crafting magazine bundle.
I got work to do. Unbelievable. If you want to, don't just stand there with your thumb up your ass.
What do you mean
Get the
Fortnite
job
broke?
done.
What the hell do you mean Fortnite broke? Fuck it, let's go in there. Find 1 extra lockpick when they are found in loot. Find 2 extra lockpicks.
Trader Rect is now closed, so get off my lawn.
Trader Rect is now closed, so get off my lawn. You know, coming from retail, I get where he's coming from. I'm gonna take some of these goldenrod flowers because I need to make goldenrod tea. No, honey tea. Really? That's crazy. Whatever will you do, Moon? Honey tea. So I need goldenrod flower, jar of honey, and water. Okay. Okay, what else do we have here? Medical. Put the blood packs in there. First aid bandage. Yeah, actually, I might keep those. Keep all of them. Fort bites. Yeah, let's put those in there. Okay, we're making 4 honey tea. Food and drink, put those jars in there. Maybe we need some more torches in here, honestly. Like, brighten the place up a little bit. It's pretty dark. What's that doing here? Get rid of that. Much better. So I've left the 2 gaps there so we've got more sunlight getting in. Merry Christmas, Lavender. How's the game going? Yeah, it's not too bad. Pretty chill, honestly. Which is never a bad thing. Actually, you know what? I might take them. We probably aren't going to do... Is this the fort shelter you were working on the other day? Yes, sure is. We'll just leave that. We'll leave 1 block there. Thank you. Yeah, we've definitely put in effort. We've definitely put in some effort. Okay, so we're gonna do that there. We can't. Fuck, we can't put a ladder. I mean, we can't put a torch there because there's a ladder. So I might. That's lit a little more brightly. Now I'm only going to leave this as wood for the time being. Okay, actually I'm going to take that. Take that one from there and pop it there. It's a little more well lit. I don't know what to stream because Epic is down. I could do words on stream, marbles on stream, or Palia. I can't stream anything on Epic. I don't know. Pick a game from random on your Steam and stream that. Pick something that you've never streamed before. I don't know. What are we thinking of this? I need to make another torch. It's pretty dark over here. I don't know. What do you reckon? It's not too bad. We don't need a lot of stuff over there simply because, you know, that's meant to get sunlight. I mean, it probably doesn't even need a roof, honestly. We can just leave it as like a deck. You are cold. Mate, how am I cold here? It's like the fireplace crackling that people love. I think Sean just jumped on. Lockpick. Tools. there any lockpicks in here? No. So how do we make lockpicks? Okay. Forged iron, mechanical parts. Oh, I need a workbench. Oh, bloody hell. Workbench. Forged iron, mechanical parts, duct tape. Okay, we can do this. We can do this. Resources, nails. Wait, how do I make nails? I think I need the forge for that. So I need 50 nails. Ooh, shit. Yeah, I do remember it actually. Oh man. So we need duct tape, mechanical parts, nails. Mechanical parts, forged iron, duct tape, nails, and wood. So we just need the nails and then we can make the workbench. Oh shit. Oh my lord. Workbench. Nice. That wasn't so bad. Keep all of that in there. That does not go there. That could have been me that did that, to be fair. Has anyone had any massive plans on Christmas Eve? I know Evil said that you had a pretty quiet one. What about anyone else? Left it up pretty quiet. I got outvoted to watch a Christmas movie, so I'm playing my game and doing fuck all. What Christmas movie? Dude, I think I'm gonna need to... Yeah, I'm gonna go need to get more wood. And then I've got to work on the Blood Moon base. I don't know, I didn't care. Santa Claus, Home Alone, Lampoon Vacation, National Lampoon's Vacation, Grinch, I didn't really care, just Christmassy. What about Elf? You should have picked Elf. How was Elf not in the conversation? Ah, well, fair enough then. I mean, when you're talking about Christmas movies, obviously, Elf. Or Spirited with Bill Murray. That's a great choice. I would say Die Hard. That is 100% a Christmas movie. Someone came into my work on our last day dressed as an elf, and he was acting like Buddy from the movie. I knew right away, but everyone else was like, "This dude's drunk." 100% Die Hard is a Christmas movie. He needs to be like 70 years old dressed as Buddy the Elf. You don't enjoy Die Hard, Sean? Why not? I suppose action movies aren't really your thing. Home Alone's iconic. Oh, let's go. Dude, Christmas movie tier list. Dude, wait, let's do Christmas movie tier list. Man, this is gonna be sick. Bruh, 7 days can get fucked. Why? What's it doing wrong? Okay, let me just have a squiz. Weird. That's so weird. I play through Steam. Dude. No, it's not Frozen. The Epic servers are down. Alright, Christmas movie tier list. So we've got legendary, great, good, bad, horrible, trash, never watched. Alright, and there's 61 movies here. We're going to go from left to right. So we're going to start with A Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey. I don't think I've seen that. A Christmas Story. Oh, that's an iconic Christmas movie. I don't think it's amazing, but it's good in my opinion. Charlie Brown Christmas. Charlie Brown Christmas is legendary. Arthur Christmas. I don't think I've seen that one. Bad Santa. Great. I'm tempted to put Bad Santa in legendary. Ooh. It's just... I just think Bad Santa is probably... You can't show that to kids, you know what I mean? So it doesn't have that universal appeal. But I can't put it any lower than great. It's borderline legendary. Die Hard. Alright. One of the greatest action movies of all time. Yes, I obviously saw it when I was a kid as well. But I'm just saying, I'm speaking from, like, personally here. Like, would you show that to a kid? Well, I would. But, like, other families. You got to take that into account as well. Die Hard is legendary. Elf, legendary. Eloise, never seen it. Four Christmases was okay. I thought Vince Vaughn was quite charming in that. Frosty the Snowman, good. Gremlins, legendary. Home Alone, legendary. Home Alone 2, maybe even better than the first one. Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Is that the old one? Is that the old one though? If it's the old one, it's great. That's the Jim Carrey Grinch movie. That's obviously legendary. It's a Wonderful Life. Ooh. I'm gonna put that in great tier. Jingle All the Way, legendary. Love Actually. I think Love Actually is a little overrated, but it's still good. Miracle on 34th Street. That's great. That must be a new one? The new Miracle on 34th Street? Mixed Nuts is underrated. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, legendary. Planes, Trains and Automobiles with John Candy. That's one of the greatest comedies of all time. Polar Express. What are we thinking for Polar Express, guys? I wish there were one between good and bad. Yeah. It is Uncanny Valley, to be sure. I didn't dislike it, it's just I've got to put it in the bad because there's no neutral. I'm neutral towards Polar Express. Rudolph. That's good, but I'm neutral towards it more than anything. Scrooged with Bill Murray, one of the most underrated Christmas movies. I'm going to put that in great tier. That's what I meant when I said Spirited before. Yeah, Christmas and Trains, they go together. The Man Who Invented Christmas. You know, I actually don't think I saw that. Muppet Christmas Carol, legendary. Nightmare Before Christmas, legendary. The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Dude. I think we're gonna go great. I'm gonna go good. I'm gonna go good. I wonder how Sheldon Cooper feels about Christmas and Trains and Polar Express. I've gone good for Santa Claus, but I do like the movie quite a bit. Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy. I'm going to say it's underrated. I'm going to put that in great tier. You know what? That's a good question. I'd watch that episode. So I've smashed Trading Places in great, but it probably should be in good. You know what? I'm going to put it in good, but I think it's an underrated Christmas movie. Call Me Claus with Whoopi Goldberg. Good. Christmas with the Cranks. I'm gonna go bad. Santa Claus 2. I'm gonna go good with that one, but it's like not as good as... Obviously not as good as the first one. 8 Crazy Days with Adam Sandler. Hugely underrated Christmas movie. I'm gonna go great for that one. Ernest Saves Christmas is great. Jim Varney is a legend. Fred Claus with Vince Vaughn. I'm gonna go... It was okay. So I'm gonna go good for that one. The New Grinch. I didn't watch The New Grinch. Home Alone 3. Home Alone 3 was good. Home Alone 4 was shit. Jack Frost with Michael Keaton. Now that movie is terrifying. That movie is truly terrifying. But Jack Frost is creepy, but I'm going to put it in good because there is something really wholesome about it. Like where he comes back as a snowman. There's just something wholesome about. I don't know. I can't quite explain it. It is definitely creepy though. I saw a video on YouTube where they changed the music in Jack Frost to make it more like a horror movie. Just Friends. I'm gonna go good with Just Friends. Yeah, he's got a horror movie face for sure. Last Holiday. I'm gonna put it in bad, but I'm more neutral towards it. To Grandmother's House we go. Ashley and Mary-Kate Olsen. I'm neutral towards it, but I'm putting it in bad. A Maid of Christmas. Never watched. Unaccompanied Minors was surprisingly okay. What's this? The Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell. It was okay. What's this one? Noel. Anna Kendrick, Bill Hader. I don't know if I've... No, I have seen that. I'm going to put that in good as well. Office Christmas Party wasn't great. Preacher's Wife with Denzel Washington was fucking fantastic. Rudolph goes good. Santa Claus 3 was bad. Santa Claus comes to town. What the fuck is that? Santa Buddies. Have seen that begrudgingly. I'm gonna put that in horrible. Santa with muscles with Hulk Hogan. I think that's underrated. Begrudgingly, I never liked the buddy movies. Someone on the front page just gave me a shout out and gifted me 20 subs and 10,000 bits. SpongeBob Christmas is great. The Night Before, I thought that was quite good. 'Twas the Night. Who was in that? I don't know if I've seen that. The Ultimate Christmas Present. I think that was good. That was neutral. And Why Him? I really liked it. But it's not a classic. So there's my list. There is my list of Christmas movies. I stand behind that list. How do you reckon I did, guys? I think I did all right. There are a couple I could move around. Like I really like Mixed Nuts. Santa Claus 1 I could probably smash into great. Trading Places, for me personally, I could probably smash into great. Jack Frost, do we move that to legendary? Because it's so creepy. I'm pretty happy with this list, honestly. Christmas Story could probably go in great as well. Surprisingly, not as many stinkers as you would think. Which is crazy. How's your 7 days going, Sean? Oh, hello. Okay, we need scented poles here. Oh, hello. You're welcome, Lavender. It wouldn't be a Christmas stream without something Christmassy. Bro. Where are you? I thought I heard a zombie. I mean, at this point, do we just kind of like do that to ensure that our base is going to be strong? I was kind of thinking, you know what would be kind of cool for a Blood Moon base? You set up a dome. Like, hang on, let me just kind of do what I was gonna... Now, the only problem with doing this is, like, the zombies would be able to stand on it. You know what I mean, though? And then somebody can stand beneath. Still unable to join, so Merry Christmas, no 7 days co-op. Bro, what the hell? Try restarting your computer. Something like that, where you can kind of just stand around outside of it. That's so weird. That is so weird. Do you reckon maybe I should try? Oh, I don't know what me exiting the game would have to do with it. Yeah, I'll try inviting. There we go. I've invited you. I'm just gonna take a slash real quick. Right, I'm back. So it won't work for you, Sean? Oh, man. Do you want me to try leaving? Hang on, let me try leaving and then coming back. I'm gonna exit and then jump back into it. Okay, I'm gonna jump back in now. Okay, launching 7 days. Any bloody day now. Oh, it's so loud. Okay, it's not opening, so I'm gonna try opening it again. I wonder if, like, because the servers are down, it's gonna, every bit of progress we just made is not gonna count. That's what I'm sort of going, hang on a second. This is no good. Okay, I don't think my 7 days is bloody opening. Oh man. What is going on? Fuck, maybe we just watch a spooky video while we wait. Serial killers that are still on the loose. 4 innocent looking videos with disturbing backstories. Yeah, I'm not even in the game. I can't send you an invite. I'm not even in the game. Like, it's not opening. I'm gonna have to leave Steam and then jump back in. Conspiracy theories that turned out to be true. Ooh, nice. Okay, I'm gonna jump back into Steam now. Do you guys remember RoboQuest? Remember when I was playing that? Bruh. Okay, jumping back into 7 days now. Let's see if it works. Alright, it's opening. Ooh, I got a bad feeling about this. Yeah, Moon said the net's down. Yep. Fuck. It was so cute, like I almost cried. He was on the front page with 1,800 viewers and they were all watching me and spamming my chat. Nice, man. Oh, well. Looks like we should have just... I'm really doubtful that my progress was saved. I hope it's saved. I hope it's saved. Yes, it is.
Citizens. One night in June 1978, a 22-year-old single mother of 2 kids named Yaiko Taguchi was working her usual shift in Tokyo, Japan's cabaret Hollywood. After finishing her shift right at around midnight, Yaiko left the cabaret through the front door and was never seen again. At first, nobody thought that anything serious had happened to Yaiko. In fact, several years later, her manager was questioned, and he claims that everyone thought she had quit when she...
No, it's not a Christmas scary video. This is Chilling Scares conspiracy theories that turned out to be true.
She failed to show up. At around that time, there had been rumors going around that several North Korean spies were working undercover in Japan looking to abduct innocent citizens and hold them as hostages back in North Korea. However, this was seen by the Japanese government as nothing more than a conspiracy theory that couldn't possibly be true. Sadly, the missing case of Yaiko went cold, and it wasn't until almost a decade later that a clue to her whereabouts emerged following a disturbing chain of events. In November 1987, as South Korea was preparing to host the Olympics in the capital city of Seoul, a Korean Airlines plane blew up in mid-air as it was flying over the Andaman Sea, taking the lives of 115 innocent people.
Whoa.
During the investigation, it was revealed that 2 North Korean agents acting under direct orders from the North Korean government had planted a bomb in an overhead storage compartment before getting off at the first layover in Abu Dhabi. As the authorities were closing in on the 2 suspects, one of them took his life with a cyanide-laced cigarette, but the South Korean government was able to arrest the other agent responsible for the attack. During her interrogation, it was revealed that she had been training for that mission for 6 years, and that for 3 of them she had been paired with Yaiko Taguchi, who had taught her how to speak and act like a Japanese woman so she could fly under the radar. As it was later revealed, Yaiko wasn't the only woman who had been kidnapped by the North Korean government.
That is so intense. That is so intense, like the amount of effort that has gone into that.
As of today, 17 Japanese citizens have been officially confirmed by the Japanese government as having been abducted by North Korea from 1977 to 1983. Disturbingly, a lot of them were shamelessly kidnapped in the middle of the day and thrown on a boat to North Korea. You might think that the victims were involved in something shady that put them on the North Korean government's radar, but the investigations actually suggest that most of them were average citizens who just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. One woman was captured while she was walking to a knitting class, and 2 others were kidnapped on a vacation to Europe. Another one, a 13-year-old girl, was taken as she was walking back home from school. Some of these victims were kidnapped for identity theft purposes, while others, like Yaiko, were forcefully brought to North Korea to teach the Japanese language and culture to North Korean spies. After the kidnappings were confirmed beyond the shadow of a doubt, the North Korean government had no choice but to come forward and apologize, but they claimed that only 5 of the 17 kidnapping victims were still alive. Over the next few years, the North Korean government would send what they would claim to be the cremated remains of some of the deceased victims back to Japan. However, as DNA testing would quickly reveal, pretty much all of the remains were fake, leading the Japanese government to believe that many more of the kidnapping victims were still alive. To this day, the North Korean government has stuck to its story, claiming that there are only 13 kidnapping victims and that the ones who are still alive were sent back safely to Japan. Shockingly, while the Japanese government has officially confirmed 17 kidnappings, the list of potential victims suggests that the true number could be as high as 800. Sadly, given the current political situation, it's unlikely we'll ever see the full extent of these abductions, or see the North Korean government held truly accountable for its horrific crime.
You just know the North Korean government does not give a shit and that their apology was worthless. Their apology meant nothing.
Just the other day, I found myself wasting hours of time I could have spent working on videos trying to find and cancel active. 1, hard to find where to do, and 2, difficult to do because the agent heart attack gun. Back in the 70s, a journalist named Seymour Hersh published an article in the New York Times in which he accused the CIA of several assassination attempts on both foreign and American politicians who they considered to be anti-war dissidents. Due to these allegations, the US Senate put the CIA under investigation for alleged covert action abuses, which resulted in the release of 14 reports on major abuses committed by the CIA, FBI, and NSA. The majority of the reports included accusations of crimes such as opening and resealing US citizens' private mail for several years and illegally surveilling Black Power activists. Although these claims are obviously pretty serious, they paled in comparison to one particular accusation, or conspiracy theory, which alleged that the CIA had developed a pistol that could fire a poison dart over 300 feet, take a person's life, and leave absolutely no trace as to the cause of death. As it was later revealed, this theory turned out to be true, and the development of the poison dart gun was just one part of the program called MK Naomi, through which the CIA had sought to develop weapons for biological warfare. In 1975, William Colby, the CIA director at the time, had to testify in front of the committee that was investigating the agency. During questioning, he claimed that the CIA had developed a host of biological weapons as part of a plan to eliminate German leaders during World War II, but that their research had continued until well after the war. He also mentioned that the poison dart gun was almost completely silent on account of the battery that was housed inside the handle, and that it had been specifically designed for the target to feel nothing more than a mosquito bite when the dart struck.
So this is proof perfect that you shouldn't listen to absolutely everything the government tells you. You should be hypercritical of them for this very reason.
Interestingly, the agency had used a specific shellfish toxin to make it impossible for anyone to know what the cause of death was, leading forensic pathologists to believe that the victim had suffered an inexplicable heart attack. It wouldn't help pathologists that the dart was designed to melt inside the body so that it only left a small red mark where it entered the victim. When asked if the heart attack gun, as it was nicknamed, was ever used on anyone, the director alleged that it had only been used for experiments and that there were no records of actual use. As part of the investigation, the CIA had to hand over the gun to the committee, and there are some pretty wild pictures of the committee members analyzing the gun as William Colby answers their questions about it. Normally you'd expect to see something like the heart attack gun in a spy movie, and it's pretty wild to think that if they hadn't put it under investigation, they would have probably gotten away with using it for who knows what purposes.
That was probably a prop. That probably wasn't the real gun. Like, they gave them it to say, look, here it is, it's real, it works. But they actually kept the real one, you know what I'm saying? They wouldn't give that away.
It's also pretty crazy to think that if that's the kind of stuff they were developing back in the 70s, imagine the kind of technology they have their hands on now. Disturbingly, the hearing was the only time the heart attack gun was ever shown publicly, and to this day it remains unclear what happened to it after the investigation.
That's crazy.
Rogue waves. Sailors often get a reputation for making up stuff they claim to have seen during their time out at sea, and because there's no one there to refute their claims, they sometimes get away with some pretty tall tales. For centuries, sailors all around the world had talked about seeing monster waves on the open sea that would allegedly reach over 100 feet in height. In 1826, a French captain claimed that he had seen a 108-foot tall wave in the Indian Ocean. Even though he had 3 sailors with him who backed up his claims, when he came back to the mainland, he was publicly ridiculed by the scientific community, as it was widely believed that it was impossible for a wave to be higher than 30 feet tall. For a long while after that, dozens of people continued to claim sightings of these monstrous waves in the middle of the ocean, but with no real evidence other than eyewitness testimonies, the existence of these waves fell into the urban legend or conspiracy theory category. In the 80s and early 90s, the Draupner platform was set up in the North Sea off the coast of Norway.
How could anyone think that rogue waves were like fake? I don't understand that. Like, of course they're real. Of course they're real. Ask anyone that's ever spent time out on the water.
To extract natural gas. As part of the protocol that was carried out to see if the platform was stable enough to withstand the rough seas, a wave height recorder was installed on the platform. On New Year's Day in 1995, the sensor recorded an 84-foot tall wave, which served as the first real piece of evidence for the existence of rogue waves. After this incident, a lot of people started wondering how many of the sailors from previous centuries had been telling the truth. What's more disturbing than that is that there were probably hundreds of disappeared sailors from all around the world who had come across a rogue wave, also known as a monster wave or a freak wave. But because most people who encountered 100-foot tall rogue waves generally didn't live to tell the tale, their testimony went down into the depths of the ocean with them. Since the Draupner wave of 1995, there's been a growing interest in rogue waves brewing in the scientific community. A few years ago, a professor at the Australian National University had estimated that at any given moment there are 10 rogue waves active in the world's oceans. As of today, a rogue wave is usually defined as a wave that is twice as large as the largest waves that come up in a particular area. And while the root cause of rogue waves continues to be investigated, it's generally accepted that these monster waves appear when two wave crests join together at the exact right time, resulting in a massive wave that can sink even the largest ships and oil rigs. Interestingly, it's also been discovered that rogue waves can take place in large lakes. In 1975, a freighter named the SS Edmund Fitzgerald sank in Lake Superior under some pretty mysterious circumstances, with a lot of people in the scientific community coming up with all kinds of hypotheses to explain the incident. It wasn't until several years later that the scientists started theorizing that the vessel could have fallen prey to a set of 3 consecutive killer rogue waves. A phenomenon referred to as the Three Sisters, in which the first wave destabilizes the ship, the second wave hits the ship's deck before it can stabilize again, and the third wave overloads the ship with more water than it can take on. If this were true, it could also provide an explanation for the mysterious sinking of other large ships in oceans around the world over the past few centuries, but this might be a bit more difficult to prove. Poisonous alcohol. In January 1920, the 18th Amendment to the US Constitution was successfully ratified, triggering a 13-year period known as Prohibition, during which the production, sale, and transportation of alcohol was made illegal. During this period, the government enforced some pretty strict measures to prevent bootlegging of alcohol, which made the alcohol black market flourish like crazy. It was pretty much a playground for the mafia, in which the government would raid one bar and another one would crop up in just a few days.
This is like the perfect example of why the illicit tobacco trade is so huge in Australia, because the Australian government has effectively like banned cigarettes, not through legislation that has actively made them illegal, but has rather priced them out of reach for most Australians. This is why Australians are turning towards the, tobacco underground. Australia, I think it was estimated they lost over $10 billion last year alone on tax revenue because of, because of how prominent illegal tobacco is. But they refuse to lower the threshold on the excise. So it's like, well, you reap what you sow, you dumb cunts.
Time. While all of this was happening, there were some pretty messed up rumors floating around that the US government was taking extreme measures to make sure people weren't consuming alcohol. These included allegations that the government was intentionally poisoning alcohol to make people who consumed it sick. For a while, this remained something of a conspiracy theory, but things took a turn pretty quickly on New Year's Day 1927 when 41 people died from alcohol poisoning at New York's Bellevue Hospital. Disturbingly, the autopsies revealed that a lot of the victims had been drinking industrial methanol, otherwise known as wood alcohol, which can be fatal even at low doses. It turns out that the government had forced companies to denature industrial alcohol to make it undrinkable since 1906, which was far before Prohibition. But when the crackdown on alcohol started, the government ordered these companies to add quinine, methyl alcohol, and other toxic chemicals to discourage people from drinking it.
Yeah.
Their reasoning was that if black market dealers knew their alcohol had been poisoned, they wouldn't dare distribute it knowing how dangerous it would be for their customers to consume. I guess they forgot to factor in that the demand for alcohol at the time was absolutely insane, and that black market dealers didn't care who lived or died from consuming their product. It wasn't until December 1933, 6 years after the Bellevue incident, that the federal government finally toned down their abstinence from alcohol policies. But by then, thousands of Americans had already been poisoned with contaminated alcohol. Gorillas. Nowadays, there's really nothing too shocking about seeing a gorilla in a zoo or on TV, but there was once a time when gorillas were considered to be in the same category as the chupacabra.
I knew someone who drank rubbing alcohol because they didn't have anything else. That would have made them sick, though. Surely that would have made them sick. Yeah, I can imagine they would have.
The Jersey Devil, Bigfoot, and the Loch Ness Monster. I was able to find that up until a couple of centuries ago, gorillas were considered cryptids, which are animals that are believed by some to exist somewhere in the wild,
Bruh.
but whose existence has never been proven. With most of these creatures, alleged sightings often turn out to be hoaxes, but obviously in the case of gorillas, what were once just rumors turned out to be true. Western explorers wouldn't come across a gorilla until around the 1500s, when an English explorer named Andrew Battelle was captured by the Portuguese off the coast of West Africa. While he was held captive on the mainland, Battelle described these disturbing, giant, ape-like creatures that would occasionally prowl around his campfire, but because he had never seen a similar creature before, he described them more as monsters than as animals. Battelle's description sent the rest of the world into what we can only call a gorilla frenzy, with all kinds of rumors being spread about these allegedly bloodthirsty, dangerous creatures living in exotic parts of the world. Over the next couple hundred years, the buzz around gorillas grew as explorers in Africa sent back illustrations of gorillas to Europe, which were often given to royalty.
Sometime back when alcohol was illegal to purchase on Sundays, people would buy hairspray and drain it into a container and drink that. Yeah, that's crazy. Imagine drinking hairspray.
And emperors as rare gifts. If you were to ask any European back then what a gorilla was, they would have described it in a similar way to how we describe Bigfoot or the chupacabra nowadays. They were thought of more as mythical monsters than regular animals. It wasn't until over 200 years or so later that an American naturalist named Thomas S. Savage found a gorilla skull in 1847 during an expedition to Africa, which was the first piece of real proof for the existence of these animals. Naturally, this triggered.
Imagine living in a world where gorillas existed, but nobody believed they existed. They were considered cryptids.
A bunch of new expeditions to the area, and between 1855 and 1859, French explorer Paul Duchaillu confirmed the existence of gorillas and even brought some back dead. Just as Andrew Battelle before him, Paul Duchaillu also described gorillas as these savage, bloodthirsty creatures which stuck in the public mind for a long time. Around 15 years later, some German explorers brought back a baby gorilla from Africa to Liverpool, even putting up some towels on the ship so he could swing around and entertain himself on the long journey back. As you can probably imagine, as soon as the ship arrived back in Liverpool, people started flocking around the hotel where the gorilla was allegedly being kept to catch a glimpse of the once mythical creature. To the public's dismay, Pongo the gorilla wasn't the massive, violent monster they had thought, but rather a cute little 2-year-old gorilla who loved to play with dogs. A few years later in 1902, a German explorer named Robert von Beringe killed 2 mountain gorillas, which were huge in comparison to the baby gorilla that the previous German explorers had brought back. And that was really the first time the public was able to understand what a full-sized adult gorilla looked like. It's pretty crazy to think that at some point these animals that we now see as normal were once seen as legendary monsters. Interestingly, if you really look at the research, there are a ton of other animals that we now take for granted that were once brushed off as hoaxes, including kangaroos, platypuses, giant squids, and Komodo dragons. With so many of these myths turning out to be true, it really makes you wonder how many animals are out there that we have no idea even exist.
Interesting.
West Hobart Haunted House.
Okay, I'm just gonna check if 7 Days is working again. is it? Oh, game is already running. It says the game is already running. What the hell? I beg to bloody differ, mate. Oh my god. There was meant to be a game that's free on Epic right now. I don't know what it is though. Some big game. Fuck it, I just bought a new game. Let's have a crack at that. Okay, this is urban legends that turned out to be true. Chilling scares again.
West Hobart is an inner city suburb located in Tasmania,
It's called Abyssus.
Australia. Over the years, dozens of allegations of supposed hauntings, ghost apparitions, and other paranormal activity have been made by tourists and residents of West Hobart. And it's honestly not too hard to see why, as West Hobart is a pretty old town with a generally creepy vibe. As is usually the case, most of these stories have either turned out to be fake, or the people making the allegations didn't have enough evidence to support their claims, which makes it almost entirely likely that they're hoaxes. But as it turns out, at least one of these stories actually has some amount of truth to it. Back in the late 80s and mid-90s, rumors started spreading of a house in West Hobart that was apparently so haunted it drove its residents insane. At first, the rumors created a huge buzz all over town, with the locals doing everything possible to stay far away from the alleged haunted house. It wasn't until months later that the authorities got involved and finally got a clear picture of the situation. While it was true that the house's residents appeared to be going insane, it didn't have anything to do with paranormal activity, but with the fact that a datura vine had been growing through the trees directly above the home and dropping leaves into the family's rainwater tank. For a long time, the family had been inadvertently consuming microdoses of the plant every single day, which made them slowly but surely start to lose their sanity as they sank further and further into delirium. In case you've never heard of it, datura is a species of plant within the nightshade family, also known as Jimson weed, the devil's weed, or devil's trumpet, and you'll see why in a second. Even though the plant itself looks pretty harmless, it's known for having extremely powerful hallucinogenic properties, which is why it was used for centuries by Native American tribes in coming-of-age rituals and other important ceremonies. The Aztecs also used datura as a painkiller in certain rituals, namely in ritual sacrifices, and it's also commonly used as an ingredient in the ritual of zombification in the Haitian voodoo religion, where it's referred to as the devil's cucumber. As you can probably tell by now, datura isn't your typical recreative hallucinogen, and there's a reason
Oh my god, man.
why it's really only ever used in hardcore spiritual rituals and ceremonies, and sometimes by naive people who have no idea what they're getting themselves into. In low to medium doses, datura causes extremely distressing, delirious experiences, and in higher doses it can lead to paralysis and even death. Nowadays, datura is recognized by most tribes as a highly toxic and dangerous plant, and have understandably stopped using it. Before we move on, I wanted to take a minute to talk about War Thunder, the sponsor of this video. As of recently, I've had a growing interest in history, specifically World War I and II, so when War Thunder reached out, it was perfect. War Thunder is an immersive on it now.
Have you ever used it? Because I know people can use it recreationally. Oh, well, not even that, but they can use it like medicinally as well, but you've got to be careful about the dosages. As with anything, really.
Cropsey. If you were to somehow go back to the 70s and spend some time in Staten Island, it probably wouldn't take you long to hear about an urban legend of a man named Cropsey. As the
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
story went, Cropsey was a serial kidnapper and killer who lost his son and resorted to stealing other people's children to deal with his grief. According to the legend, Cropsey also had a hook for a hand, scars, burns, and open wounds covering his entire face and body, and a generally horrifying appearance. Considering the mass areas of uninhabited woodlands, it's not all that unexpected that a tale like the legend of Cropsey would make it into the mainstream culture at some point. Unfortunately, this wasn't just a tall tale made up by Staten Island parents to keep their kids from venturing too far into the woods and getting lost. Although the legend has some obviously made-up elements such as the hooked hand and the horrifying scars and burns, at some point in the early 70s, children in Staten Island really did start disappearing. That's when the line between legend and reality
That's what they take in Enter the Void, if I'm not mistaken. I believe you're right.
started to blur, and the story of the real Cropsey immediately replaced the urban legend. This is the real story. Andre Rand was a man from Manhattan who was born in 1944 and moved to Staten Island in the late 60s. After working for 2 years at the infamously brutal Willowbrook State School for Children with Disabilities, Rand was arrested in 1969 and served over a year in
Okay.
prison for the attempted attack of a 9-year-old girl. As soon as he was released 16 months later, reports started cropping up of more little girls disappearing all over Staten Island, including 5-year-old Alice Pereira, who was playing in her building's lobby when she suddenly disappeared without a trace. Over the next decade, Rand was the prime suspect in the disappearances and deaths of several other young girls in the area. But it wasn't until 1983 when he picked up 11 kids from a local YMCA and brought them fast food before taking them to the airport that he was finally arrested and sentenced to 10 months in prison again. Throughout the 70s and 80s, dozens of young kids disappeared in Staten Island, and although Rand was often the last person to be seen with them, there was ultimately never enough evidence to put him away for a long time. For many years, he would often be seen hanging around young kids, going on walks with them, and even taking them to lunch and dinner with him at local restaurants. After years of letting him walk the streets as a free man, police would finally have a breakthrough in the case in 1987 when they found undeniable evidence that Rand had been behind the disappearance and murder of Jennifer Schweiger, a 12-year-old girl with Down syndrome.
Aw.
In 1988, he was sentenced to 25 years to life, and while he was behind bars, more and more evidence was found that tied him to several other disappearances in Staten Island in the 70s and 80s. Unfortunately, he was only charged with one additional major crime in 2004, which was the kidnapping of Holly Ann Hughes, thanks to which he will spend the next 13 years behind bars
G'day,
until
Q. What's
2037.
going on, mate?
If he lives that long, he'll be 93 by the time he gets out. The Maine Hermit.
See, the Maine Hermit. I fucking love the Maine Hermit. He was homeless and lived by breaking into holiday homes that no one was in. You have a serious question to ask. Shoot. Yeah, I'm doing well, mate. How are you? Okay, Abyssus. Let's try this out. It's cost $30 and it was like an impulse buy. What are you doing right now? I'm about to jump on Abyssus, which is a game I know nothing about, but it sounded cool, so I thought I would buy it. Isn't Nvidia smoking something high? What did they do now? Okay, VSync off. Graphics, anti-aliasing. So we'll put everything on. We'll put everything on ultra. Let's try. I just heard the news that Nvidia launching Nitrogen that is basically AI that will play games on our behalf. But why? Because they're probably scared that the AI bubble will burst, and it will. And I think they're just sort of doing whatever they can to make use of their GPUs and RAM while they still have access to it, while it's still worth something. An abysmal expedition. A faint signal was picked up in the heart of the Atlantic. Upon arrival, a sudden surge of energy from far beneath the sea wreaked havoc on your submarine's instruments. How's it even logical? Well, they're a $1 trillion company, so nothing they do is gonna resemble anything even close to logic. Now shipwrecked and desperate. Oh, sorry. Now shipwrecked and separated from the rest of your crew, you find yourself in dire need of a weapon to defend yourself. I think it's locked. It's locked at 120 FPS. Holy shit. 250. It kind of looks like BioShock. Do you guys remember BioShock? Engine rifle. It's seen its fair share of battles. Journal. Day of revelation. I can no longer resist it. It beckons me with its promise of power, of true ascension. He who waits past my waking hours needs wait no longer. Oh. Yeah, I'll be on for a little bit. Means we pay to buy the game and didn't even play game and give it to an AI to play, and we also have to pay the AI to play. Maybe Nvidia living its own fantasy life. Yeah, well, Nvidia is terrible. I would recommend everybody completely abandon everything they have that's Nvidia. By the way, what game are you playing? It's called Abyssus. It's only just come out. The game is called Abyssus. It's an FPS roguelite. Okay. Abyssus. AB. Abyssus. Weapons have two firing modes. The engine rifle's primary fire is fully automatic. The secondary fire is stronger but can overheat. The frag grenade is your starting ability. Its charges are restored after a short time and at the end of encounters. The wrench is a fast melee weapon that can stun enemies. It also interrupts reload and ability usage, making it an effective panic option. Interesting. Press Q to usability. Alright, nice. Blessing altar. Powerful blessings are granted to those who pray at blessing altars. Those blessings are given by 10 different aspects, such as aspect of frost or wind. Blessings can be attached to a weapon's primary or secondary, as well as to the equipped ability. The aspect of fire grants the power to set enemies on fire. Okay. But secondary fire deals 15% additional damage and has a 30% chance to set enemies on fire. Primary fire deals 15% additional damage. Yeah, okay, let's go primary flares. So, the game looks nice. Yeah, it does. Press C to heal with your syringe. Journal, day 18. Curse this job and curse this temple. Empty as the grave, a mere fortnight back. It was. So, where do these hunks of junk keep coming from? I gotta get back to camp. It just ain't worth the money. I don't think there's gonna be a huge, like, storyline or anything like that.
A fight's in the oven!
Bruh. Blessings. Choose more blessings from the same aspect provides blessings that empower that aspect's mechanic. It also adds a passive boost that increases for each blessing from that aspect, such as increasing your area of effect size or critical hit chance. Did you claim the Hogwarts Legacy for free on Epic? I did, but I'll probably never play it. Never say never, but I probably won't play it. Okay, so we're going Blessing of the Fire again. Empowering Flames. Fire dot deals 5% more damage for every second it is on the target. Linked Flames. Triggering a flare causes all enemies afflicted by a fire to also flare. Excludes flares triggered by fire. Let's go Linked Flames. Okay, I think we've been through there. Okay, where are we go? Oh, through here. Charms. You can only have one charm equipped. Destroying charms with melee attack spawns gold. Deals 25% more damage to enemies within 10 meters of you. Deal 30% more damage to enemies that are further away. Let's go that one. Let's get the gold. Give us the gold, please. Let's see what they will give on 25th, 31st, and last mystery game. If I could go on Epic right now, I would claim the free game that they've got. Okay, let's go store. Free game. Callisto Protocol. That's what is free right now. I can't believe they're giving that free. So we have infinite bullets in this. I think we do. It's just things are on a cooldown. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get Callisto Protocol. I should probably play that. Like, I would love to play that on stream. I've been meaning to do some horror streams again. Charms. Okay, we've already done that. So yeah, everything's on a cooldown. Oh, I didn't know they've given Callisto Protocol before. Reminds me of a Big Daddy from BioShock. Each aspect can provide a minor and a major blessing. These appear instead of your third and sixth respective blessings of the same aspect and provide greater power than regular blessings. This will be your third fire blessing, so go ahead and claim your minor blessing. Okay. Stacking flames. Fire can now stack, increasing fire damage over time. Nice. Journal. A safe haven. It seems the locals use these strange gateways to traverse the depths. Though this technology is beyond our understanding, the gateway up ahead leads somewhere safe enough for us to set up camp. Nice. Wouldn't mind a new gun. Dude, look at that sub. Looks sick. Customize your outfit. Brian revolver can be equipped at the workbench. Shotgun.
Fancy gear, this.
Brian revolver, a powerful handgun that can be aimed down sight. Nautical wardrobe. What else do we have over here? Spend soul fragments. Deep water tank. Increase the deep water level with brine canisters. And I suppose that... Hang on. Equip a loadout. That sets up targets. It's an interesting game, I'll give you that. I don't love it so far. Like, it's not bad though, don't get me wrong. The little fishies. Bruh. Bruh, get away from me.
Like plain sailing.
Interesting.
One step at a time.
I like the aesthetic more than the actual gameplay. It just feels very basic to me, like there's not an awful lot to keep you invested, you know what I mean? Like Megabonk, for example, is a great example of a game that you pick up and play, and I always find myself going, just one more round, just one more round. Here we go. Aspect of Spirit grants you the power to control spirits and have them attack your enemies. Every defender blessing reduces the damage you receive. Let's go defense. Variability. Your ability deals.
Offer protection. It's locked.
No shit. No shit. Day 22. Could just be me, but these sculptures look more weathered than the golems we're fighting. Older, perhaps. Shame that we're the only ones around to admire them. Well, unless those golems have an eye for art.
Change your focus.
Get away from me, freak. Like, when I say it's, like, not great, I don't mean it's bad. It's definitely not a bad game. So I don't want anybody to, like, misconstrue, like, my intentions.
Well done.
Oh, get the hell away from me, dog. I think there's a chest right next to me as well. That's good. Oh, I only got gold for that? Give me a blessing, damn it.
I'll show you.
Oh, that's it? that wasn't that crazy.
Ah, there's always more.
for that, mate. I do like how the enemies that are like obscured by the terrain are highlighted. I think that's a great touch. The aspect of fortune gives you the power to create a gold burst. Aspect of lightning, let's go for that. Chain lightning.
Like lightning in a bottle. A blind hunter brutality.
Bruh. Okay, so this is like our first boss, sort of. I accidentally gave my ability, the chain lightning ability, instead of my primary attack. Although I don't think that was an option. You're gone, mate. You are gone. Soul fragment. Heals. Golden ticket.
Incredible!
Look at that, we just beat our first boss. Oh, deal damage based on your health.
Greater vitality.
Shotgun.
Fancy gear, this.
Day 32. Fallen half a dozen times now I have. Just like me foes. Unnatural is what it is. Really seems to get to know some of us. Seems to get to some of us, this place. It's only gotten worse now that more of the lads started using that power. One of them kept repeating that he had to reach the source of the surge and went ahead without us. Poor bugger. Never returned, and part of me hopes he never found what he was looking for. Just a gut feeling. Interesting. I want to equip that shotgun. Alright guys, it is Christmas. I'm gonna go spend the rest of the day with some family. Stream 2 hours on Christmas Day. Ain't no big thing. Shame Sean and I couldn't play some 7 days, but I hope everyone here has